Mobile water, unique in every way.
Hashtag stop Galamsey now.
Let the water flow. I will speak to him directly. President John Dramani Mahama. Yellow blood do.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra. Also live on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com and affiliates in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Space FM Takwa, Pulong in Funsi, Rage FM and Tamale, KTU Radio in Kovridi and Freedom FM in Sugakope. Also live on X Spaces, Facebook and YouTube. Is live and supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, minority in Parliament accused government of unconstitutionality in 2025 District Assemblies Common Fund directives.
Upon careful review, these guidelines contain fundamental inconsistencies, clear legal breaches, and deep contradictions with the 2025 District Assemblies Common Fund formula duly approved by Parliament.
We have details from Parliament where the caucus is threatening to use all political and legal avenues to challenge the decision of government. Also coming up, Public Procurement Authority targets a 90% reduction in procurement-related breaches within the public sector as it begins full implementation of the Ghana Electronic Procurement System. Also coming up, President Mahama proposes that for factories established and registered under the 24-hour economy initiative, equipment imported for expansion or retooling should enter the country duty and tax-free.
I had a dialogue with the private sector. One of the issues they raised was the duties and taxes on capital equipment.
In sports,
Ghana FA President Keto Kreku charges referees to strive for perfection after controversial calls in the Ghana Premier League.
as shisha and cigarettes gain popularity among young Ghanaians, health experts are raising red flags linking its use to increasing breast cancer cases and pushing for a nationwide ban.
Alcohol, cigarette smoking, including shisha, and in our country, Ghana, shisha is a problem. We used to know that women do not smoke in Ghana, and we pride ourselves with it. But now, a lot of women are using the shisha.
Later, consumers of dog and cat meat pushed back against a petition by the Institute of Community Sustainability seeking a nationwide ban on the practice.
Dog meat, we use it in so many ways, not only the consumption, but we use it in our traditional homes for some rituals. Even marriage ceremony, we use it. So when them saying they should ban it, I don't know what they would use to replace the dog as the tradition demands. Or they'll go and talk to the gods to reconsider and change different things.
These and more with me, Maame Esi Nyamekye Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. Please stay. This afternoon, government is coming under fire from the minority in Parliament over accusations it has unconstitutionally issued guidelines for the distribution of the District Assemblies Common Fund. Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre claims to have exposed what he described as constitutional inconsistencies and fiscal mismanagement within the NDC administration, insisting that the guidelines conflict directly with the formula approved by Parliament under Article 252 of the 1992 Constitution.
At the center of our concern are the 2025 guidelines for the utilization of District Assemblies Common Fund, issued by the Ministry of Local Government and approved of by Cabinet. Upon careful review, these guidelines contain fundamental inconsistencies, clear legal breaches, and deep contradictions with the 2025 District Assemblies Common Fund formula duly approved by Parliament. Let us be unequivocal. This is not a technical quarrel. This is certainly not an administrative oversight, and this is not a routine policy disagreement. For us as a minority caucus and many discerning Ghanaians, this is certainly a constitutional issue. This is a governance issue, and by extension, this is a democratic accountability issue. Now, the begging question is why we're speaking out today. Article 252 of our cherished 1992 Constitution is clear and ambiguous. It vests in Parliament and Parliament alone the authority to determine the formula for the sharing of the District Assembly Common Fund across our 261 MMDAs. That authority is neither symbolic nor advisory. It is binding. In accordance with this mandate, Parliament approved the 2025 DACL formula allocating some 7.51 million Ghana cedis for the fiscal year and distributing it based on scientifically grounded equity drive model.
Well, let me take you to Parliament now, where Kweku Asante is standing by with details. Kweku, so what will the minority do about these claims of unconstitutionality?
Well, a couple of the issues that have come up, Maame Esi, is the directive by the government that the district assemblies should be constructing what they call 24-hour local markets, which is going to separate the 24-hour economy using the DACF funds, and the minority are not having any of that. They say the various districts have all their unique responsibilities and unique challenges, for which reason Parliament approved an allocation. And so they are considering all options, particularly when it comes to a legal dispute. They are putting that on the table, but also they are very much open to a political avenue to resolve this issue.
To go to court or not, it's a civil option, and it's one of the options we're looking at as a group. And you know, as far as the history of our country is concerned, right from the reforms that the Electoral Commission has implemented over the past 2 decades or so, many of them, voting with a picture on your voting ID card, departure from the opaque ballot boxes, and all these, a lot of them have come from us as a tradition, as a party. So we believe in the constitutional order, and when we find it important, we will go to court. But we are not unnecessarily going to be litigating. At the end of the day, we have the option to also speak up, and we also test the listening power of the president. The president says he's a listening president. We will see whether indeed he listens. So we will do this. We will take further action to formally bring these matters in proper context to the notification of His Excellency the President, the powers that be. In the fullness of time, we will be able to decide on the best option to resort to.
Well, Kweku, so what else is going to happen in Parliament today?
Well, the House will begin sitting at 2 p.m. There are a raft of questions for ministers to come and answer. You will recall last week the minority did made a lot of noise, I should say, about ministers not turning up to answer questions. This week, there are a couple of questions like that, and today a number of them should be answered. And the minority are going to press that if ministers are not here to answer the question, the proceedings should not continue. There are a couple of statements also that have been admitted by the Speaker to be taken. And then the legal education reform bill will also continue in its consideration stage. AC.
Right, Kweku Asante, thank you. Now, the Public Procurement Authority says the Ghana Electronic Procurement System, GANAPS, will significantly address procurement irregularities in the public sector, improve transparency and reduce corruption by about 90% when fully implemented. Launched in 2019 and taken through a 6-month pilot phase, the system seeks to promote fairness and serve as a panacea to Ghana's corruption and procurement-related challenges. At the media briefing during a training session for staff of the Ministry of Defence in Accra, Director of Policy, Planning and Research, Clement Osufojo, said the manual system is fraught with challenges and therefore this initiative offers a sustainable solution to the country's procurement difficulties.
We have a lot of challenges in terms of transparency, collusion, and so administrative costs, and so human interface, for example. So Ghanaians have come to clear all these things. Now, for weeks for transparency, it's 100% assured. Also to people to have confidence in the procurement system. The Ghanaians is the way to go. And as I said, it will eliminate all these corruption issues that you are talking about because of the limitation of human interface. And when you ask me the challenges with the Ghanaians, some of them may be the internet connectivity, for example, and also just as we are doing there, we have to build the capacity because it's a new one. People are used to the manual.
Well, let's speak to my colleague Fatal Bayaga, who is there at that training. Fatal, what's the reaction of the Defence Ministry?
So the defense minister said that this particular initiative is very laudable because since they started implementing it, it's improved their procurement issues. In fact, he says that all the processes are done online, and that has significantly reduced corruption. He says that the system, when they began the implementation, there were some challenges in relation to network and among other things, but this training would help them address all of that. We can take a listen to the Director of Procurement, Theophilus Okan.
Well, Fatah will listen to that sound much later. President John Mahama says he's proposed that for factories established and registered under the 24-hour economy initiative, equipment imported for expansion or retooling should enter the country duty and tax-free. At the sword-cutting ceremony for a new float glass manufacturing facility and the commissioning of a sanitary wares factory by Keda, Ceramics Company Limited in Shama, Western Region, he assured business leaders that the incentives under the initiatives are coming. He added that they believe in Ghana will be rewarded with policies that encourage even greater investment. Presidential Affairs Correspondent Maxwell Agbagba reports.
President John Mahama stated that currently every piece of glass in Ghana, from drinking glasses to windows to beer bottles, is imported, noting that the new facility will be a game changer in local glass production. He expressed confidence that the Western Region's float glass factory will become one of Africa's largest, with projected annual export earnings of $100 million.
And when completed, this will be one of the largest float glass facilities in Africa. And we're going to export glass from here to other African countries and also to Europe and other destinations. In 2024 alone, Ghana imported over 65,000 tons of glass products, which were valued at almost $25 million to meet the demand of our construction industry, automobile, and manufacturing sectors. This factory, the float glass factory, is going to change that equation. It will reduce our imports of glass, it will save us foreign exchange, and it will position Ghana as a major regional exporter of glass.
President Mahama stated that for factories that register under the 24-hour economy initiative, he has proposed that equipment imported for expansion or retooling should enter the country duty and tax-free.
Incidentally, yesterday I had a dialogue with the private sector. And one of the issues they raised was the duties and taxes on capital equipment. For factories that are established and register under the 24-hour economy initiative, I have proposed that if they want to expand or they want to bring new equipment to retool their factory, they should be able to bring that equipment into the country duty and tax-free. So, Chairman Shen, I can assure you that the incentives are coming, and already you have a belief in Ghana, and I'm sure that those incentives will open the way for you to invest even more in our country.
President Mahama ending that report. Now, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has called for the urgent passage of an emergency care law following the death of 29-year-old Charles Emisa amid a nationwide no-bed crisis in 3 hospitals. Now, the incident has intensified calls for systemic changes to emergency healthcare delivery. During proceedings in Parliament, Mr. Bagbin said the House must hold responsible persons accountable and urged members to set the agenda for the reforms on the no-bed syndrome.
We need to pass an emergency care law on this matter. I know the conditions under which the health personnel operate, but I also know health personnel have handled accident cases, stabilized them in the bush, not in hospitals. Patriotic health workers have done that, and people have survived through that. So please, the few that are miscreants should not be allowed to at least carry the day. And that is why I partly agree with the majority leader that we should set the agenda as political leaders.
Well, a consultant emergency physician, Dr. Godfred Techi, has noted that such situations will keep recurring unless coordination gaps among healthcare providers are tightened.
So there's a chain of emergency care in what we call the emergency system. So you need what all emergency starts from the community, at home, school, church events or any social gathering. Okay, so you need some form of training in the community. You need some form of coordination between that training and the pre-hospital care. That is what we call the ambulance service. Then you also need a coordination between the ambulance service and the emergency departments. And it doesn't end there. You need to have a national emergency care system. So it's unfortunate that things have to happen this way before we come back to this conversation. There should be a clear guidelines that nobody should be turned away, which I know Ghana Health Service put this out so many years ago. So we need a very simple, scalable bed visibility system that works both digitally and also low resource settings.
Well, the Ghana Medical Association has said that priority should be given to equipping all peripheral facilities to enable them handle emergencies. Dr. Richard Salome is GMA General Secretary.
No matter how many beds we provide in Kolebu, if all the periphery are dumping into Kolebu and are not strengthened, Kolebu will always have no bed. Ridge will always have no bed. Confirmation will always have no bed. It is important that we begin to equip the peripheral facilities both with human resource, the necessary logistics to be able to handle a lot more of the cases as close as possible to the communities where the issues happen, be it road traffic accidents or other emergencies, than be rushing them all to Kolebu, Ridge, and other 37 and other places.
Afonso Yoruba MP Kojo Nkrumah has criticized attempts to politicize the matter. This follows remarks by the Deputy Health Minister Grace Ayen-Sudankwa that the previous NPP administration failed to complete any of the Agenda 111 hospital projects despite significant financial investments.
This is a matter of a tragic death, a matter that has now been announced as a subject of an investigation. There should be no basis for which at this time there are attempts to suggest that it is because the immediate past administration did not finish Agenda 111 buildings or EMTs have not been certified. Because if we descend into that arena, Mr. Speaker, we may be tempted to ask what the administration before the last one also did about that. I'm not sure what Ghanaians want to hear us talking about today is an attempt to be doing partisan exchanges on this.
Board Chair of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Titus Bayo, has also noted measures to address the phenomenon include the roll out of real-time hospital bed tracking.
But I'm also proud to announce that to bring a comprehensive solution, building on the efforts of previous ministers, the current Minister of Health had already set in motion a team to solve this situation comprehensively. And they are coming out with a document that is going to be looking at a national integrated bed management and referral coordination system. This will be backed by IT and is going to allow us at the real time to be able to tell the categories of bed that are available in a particular hospital. Whether you don't have stroke bed, or ICU bed, or bed for a pregnant woman or for a child.
The Incaria Divisional Police have arrested a gang of 4 posing as national security operatives to conduct illegal mining operations. They are alleged to be extorting sums of money from various mining sites in the Trima in Wabija South Municipality of the Ashanti region. Erastus Asaridonko has more.
The Incaria Divisional Police Day Patrol Team arrested the 4 after a series of complaints. 2 of them, Samuel Nso, 35, and Nana Akom Owusu, 42, have been identified as national security operatives in the Atwima-Kwangoma district. A 3rd person, Stephen Ajiman, is said to be a national security operative from the Castle, Accra, whilst the 4th person, Mark Donas Toku, 40, is a driver to the NDC chairman for Atwima-Kwangoma. They were arrested after raiding an illegal mining site in Atwima-Wabieja South, where a Chinese miner they arrested landed in a pit and sustained injuries. The Incaria police arrested them after complaints from the people. Police retrieved a set of green khaki uniforms used by the gang, 1 pump-action gun, and 16 cartridges, and a white pickup vehicle with registration number JW8394-24 later confirmed to be the official vehicle of the NDC chairman for Atwima Kwangoma, Simon Alolga. The suspects were handed over to the National Security Liaison Office and have since been forwarded to the regional police for further investigations. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We take a break. When we return, we have sports, and also as shisha and cigarettes gain popularity among young Ghanaians, health experts are linking its use and other substance abuse to increasing breast cancer cases and pushing for a nationwide ban.
Alcohol, cigarette smoking, including shisha, and in our country, Ghana, shisha is a problem. We used to know that women do not smoke in Ghana, and we pride ourselves with it. But now, a lot of women are using the shisha.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Mubarak, what's for sports?
Yeah, Maame Esi, the Ghana Football Association President Keto Kreku has called on referees to aim for perfection in the Ghana Premier League following controversial decisions. One of the most talked about moments was Kotoko's disallowed goal against Bibiani Gold Stars, a decision taken by referee Julian Nunu.
Yes, I'm also concerned about some of the few incidents that has been occurring. I say few in relation to the quantum of games that are played every week and over the entire duration of the season. But it's very important that we pay attention to these situations or those situations because we want a perfect situation. Even though we know that as a human adventure and as human as we are, there will always be wrong calls being made. The role of the Football Association is to make sure that there's continuous training for our referees, is to make sure that our referees are continuously engaged, and is to make sure that we provide them with the enabling environment.
Yeah, that's GFA boss Keto Kreku. And tonight in the Champions League playoffs, Real Madrid welcome Benfica to the Bernabeu for the second leg. Madrid have a 1-0 advantage and hope to get the job done for a place in the last 16.
Thank you, Mubarak. Now in Asin Central District of the Central Region, some farmers gather not just to discuss yields and prices, but how to safeguard their livelihoods from the increasing unpredictable weather. On climate evidence today, Kofi Edudonfe reports on how agriculture and cooperatives can turn shared vulnerability into collective resilience.
The critical challenge is a climatic change. That is the most critical challenge we had.
Samuel Toby owns a 17-acre cocoa farm bordering a forest reserve.
If you are not lucky, the cocoa can die. So it is a climatic change that is our main problem.
Dr. Victor Owusu, whose research focuses on agrarian food systems and livelihood resilience, describes climate change as a planning nightmare for farmers.
Predicting the onset of the rainfall is becoming difficult, and intermittently temperatures are also very high, so making planning for farming activities very difficult. And this is where the local cooperatives comes in.
Agricultural cooperatives are emerging as a quiet but powerful force in Ghana's climate response. Abdul Rahman Ayitu Tete at the Cocoa Health and Extension Division of Cocoa Board describes cooperatives as essential allies in reaching farmers efficiently.
They should not do more or new farms, but the ones that they have, we should rather maintain it so that we can maximize production from the farm.
Experts say cooperatives are central to scaling climate adaptation across the country. Farmers are determined to keep production going irrespective of the weather.
At times, farmers lose hope, but the pruning, the irrigations, and other things also help a lot. So we benefit from it.
Kofi Edudumfe reporting.
Well, health experts are sounding the alarm over shisha, warning that its growing use may be contributing to rising breast cancer cases among Ghanaian youth. They're calling for a nationwide ban. Breast Care International and Peace and Love Hospitals say the substance increasing popularity among young women aged between 28 and 40 poses a serious public health risk. There's more in this report.
Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Wiafe Ade revealed that Ghana records around 5,000 breast cancer diagnoses, with approximately 2,360 women losing their lives to the disease annually. She shared the information during a breast cancer awareness session and clinical screening event for members of the Methodist Church at Ijura in the Ashanti region. The event was part of Breast Cancer International's ongoing outreach initiative focused on raising awareness about the signs and symptoms of breast cancer, the importance of early detection, and providing free clinical breast examination to community members.
But our women and our men to get the information that early detection and prompt action is the key. It's not enough to find the disease. If you find it and you go and say in the prayer camp, you haven't done anything. If you find it and you go and apply some herbs on it, you haven't done anything. So early detection should go with prompt action.
Dr. Wiafe emphasized that certain lifestyle choices such as skin bleaching, regularly eating fast food, and consuming alcoholic beverages, especially bitters, can increase a person's risk of developing breast cancer.
We still do not know the exact cause of breast cancer, but we know of risk factors. And some of these risk factors are modifiable. The modifiable ones are alcohol, cigarettes, smoking, including shisha. And in our country, Ghana, shisha is a problem. We used to know that women do not smoke in Ghana, and we pride ourselves with it. But now, a lot of women are using the shisha. 1 puff of shisha is equal to 10 sticks of cigarettes.
Consumers of dog and cat meat are resisting a petition by the Institute of Community Sustainability calling for a nationwide ban. The institute wants government to criminalize the trade and is set to begin a sensitization tour of the northern and Volta regions where the meat is widely consumed. Here are some consumers.
I think those who are even proposing this thing are making a mistake, because it will go back to Parliament for Parliament to issue a legislation about it. And I think Dominica Yene, Azigadongo and Co will not sit down, Bawa and Co will not sit down and look at this thing to be done. And I believe our regional minister, Donald Tusakamuru and Co, they won't be happy to hear even this one, because the preface, they live with dog meat.
There are a lot of things that we use dog meat for, and I'm not sure dog meat can be banned, because what our culture uses, much in particular, we use the dog. And after using the dog, you can't just bury the meat or you dispose the meat. No, you have to use it.
Some people use it as a source of income because they do rear them. Some do sell them like that. Some too do kill the meat, then be selling. And when you come to the Fafa, our community in particular, when we are getting married like this, there is something we call in our language, we call it Zwa. The dog is the most important thing. Without the dog, we can't do that one. So we are pleading that the banning for killing them, we can't stop because we came and met it, and we have to continue.
Well, domestic tourism is increasingly being recognized as one of the strongest drivers of local economic growth. Beyond leisure and relaxation, every trip taken within Ghana contributes to employment creation and supports businesses along the tourism value chain. As part of our special Ghana Month series leading to the Joy Safari Experience 2026, my colleague Noela Yali highlights how a single journey can impact hundreds of livelihoods.
A weekend trip often begins simply. A packed bag, a full tank, and the decision to get away. But long before travelers arrive at their destination, an economic journey has already begun. The receptionist preparing a room, the chef sourcing vegetables from a nearby farmer, the driver transporting guests, and a tour guide mapping out the day's adventure. Across Ghana's growing tourism industry, thousands of livelihoods depend on one decision, the decision to travel locally. From food suppliers and artisans to cleaners, entertainers, and transport operators, domestic tourism keeps money circulating within communities, sustaining businesses far beyond resort walls. Industry observers note that when Ghanaians explore destinations within their own country, tourism transforms from recreation into economic participation. And this philosophy sits at the heart of Joy 99.7 FM's Ghana Month initiative, the Joy Safari Experience 2026. Scheduled for March 20 to 21 at the Safari Valley Resort in Eastern Region, the experience brings together adventure, leisure, and intentional local tourism, demonstrating how travel can simultaneously inspire rest and stimulate economic activity. Because sometimes a simple getaway does more than refresh the traveler. It sustains an entire ecosystem of work. For Joy News, Noella Karinyale.
Well, I can wait to have a safari experience. How about you, Adobia?
Same here. I mean, I want to go and
I'm
experience it. Oh, please now. Just put me in your bag.
I need to feel the vibe.
I'm very
Come
small.
on.
Just put me in your bag.
Oh,
I'll
no.
go. I'll give you a good
too
time.
big
I'm
for
serious.
my bag. Anyway, what's
Maame,
trending?
in trending news, Richard Appiah, who is former footballer and draftsman, has received a life sentence from Accra High Court for murdering 2 boys. Do you remember the August 2021 incident when a man was accused of murdering 2 boys? Well, he put the bodies of the boys in his refrigerator and he was helping the family look for these boys. Now, his lawyers claimed he was mentally unstable. So they did all those checks. And you know, it's been long. It's been 5 years. So the family was beginning to lose hope. But just some hours ago, that was just yesterday, he's been convicted and he's going to spend the rest of his life. So I think the family has gotten some closure and people are reacting to it.
At least the law is working.
Yes. So that's what's trending in the news.
Thank you, Adobia, for that. And that's how we end the afternoon bulletin here on Joe 99.7 FM. I am Maame Esi Nyamekye Thompson. Up next is Living Word with